Guys, Christmas is pretty much here. There's so much to do in so little time, which is why we've partnered with Factor to save you time over the holidays. Factor makes it their mission to deliver fresh and delicious ready-made meals straight to your doorstep. There's no need to meal prep or to go grocery shopping. Simply head on over to Factor's website and choose from over 35 crafted meals that are fresh, never frozen, with over 55 add-ons and breakfast, lunch, and dinner options, which is why Factor is the king when it comes to customization. They make it easy to match your lifestyle and diet with calorie-smart, protein-plus, vegan, or vegetarian meals approved by dietitians. And what I personally love is Factor turns a 30-minute struggle into 2 minutes with no cleanup, no mess, just good food. We've also partnered with their parent company HelloFresh in the past, and Factor uses those same fresh ingredients. So guys, if you're interested today, head on over to factor75.com or click the link down below and use code Aztecross50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Thank you again to Factor for sponsoring today's video. If there is one benefit to having a 7-month-long season, is the fact that we get to experience Sunshot in its final form. Guys, I cannot express how good Sunshot is, especially this season. Like, disregard the fact that it's the only 150 round per minute hand cannon in the game. It has a 0.8 second time to kill value in PvP. It's got great stats. It flinches like mad. It's sexy. Disregard all those amazing qualities, because Sunshot already had that going into this season. What it has now, though, is a host of artifact mods that benefits it more than any other solo weapon in the game. There is a reason why you've seen solo flawless runs over and over, with Sunshot being a go-to option for that final boss encounter. It's just too damn good. Today, guys, we're going to be breaking down everything about Sunshot this season, why it's so good, and of course, what builds truly elevate this exotic to that next level. And dude, I remember way back when Bungie first made the change to Sunshot. You see, originally, it was alright, but it didn't have those crazy chain reaction explosions. But then Bungie made that change to Sunshot where you could level a room, where you could kill multiple enemies with one kill. Now though, dude, you can level the entire map with one kill. The ignitions, the scorch, the chain reactions upon chain reactions, the solar 3.0 synergy, sunspot spawning left and right, the fact that it's an exotic and does 40% more damage against red bar enemies. It's got its very own custom version of explosive payload called Sunburn for that extra AoE damage when landing shots, or hell, even missing shots, and its own version of incandescent, that being Sunblast. You see, so much in Solar 3.0 was inspired by Sunshot. However, as of this year, those explosions apply Scourge to nearby targets, that being 10 at base, 15 with Ember of Ashes. Now, there's been an argument that legendary weapons with incandescent is just as good. And although I have a number of incandescent legendary weapons, whether it's Amit or Callus Mini Tool, understand that Sunshot's explosions are not like incandescent. It's way more lethal. Its explosions, when killing nearby enemies, will cause those enemies to explode, causing even more explosions. The only weapon off the top of my head that I can think of that has this level of like clearing an entire room is probably Graviton Lance. But you see, Sunshot goes even further, because just a season ago, hand cannons got a buff inside of PvE, which directly benefited Sunshot. But that's not why we're here today. We're not going to talk about its incredible range and stability, how it can compete against the best hand cannons out there and outpace them with its faster time to kill value, or the fact that it has a pay-to-win gun model that obviously makes this weapon much slimmer, therefore easier to maintain visuals on thy enemies. Instead, though, we're going to talk about this juicy damage that you're seeing here in front of you. You see, guys, it's these artifact perks. First, we have Flint Striker. Rapid solar weapon precision hits and rapid solar weapon final blows grants Radiant. Such a beautiful perk, right? You're essentially giving yourself Radiant for free. As long as you're landing precision hits, which is what you definitely want to do, considering as we get deeper into these artifact mods, you are going to be greatly rewarded for this. You will be walking around flat-footed with that 25% buff in damage. Now, it actually differs depending on the archetype of weapon you're using. For instance, auto rifles and SMGs are somewhere between 7 and 10 precision hits. Bows are around 2 precision hits, whereas hand cannons are around 3 to 4 precision hits. Now, considering the magazine size on Sunshots, that's no problem. And believe me, at one time, that would have been a problem. We used to have 8 rounds in this thing. Felt like reload the game. But then we take things a step further. Rays of Precision. While Radiant, solar precision final blows cause combatants to ignite. Guys, we're not even talking about synergizing Solar 3.0 yet. You can. And yes, this will substantially make your Sunshot much, much better. The point is, with just these artifact mods, you will be able to walk around and give yourself free Radiant and consistent ignitions over and over. Now, Now again, everything here benefits more when you're on Solar 3.0, but I want to emphasize you do not have to be on a Solar subclass to get these benefits. For instance, if you want to run over there and rock a stasis build, say for instance, our Stacy build, you can do so and still use Sunshot and get all of these benefits. Matter of fact, you can lead into the perk Torch, which gives us a 5% increase in damage against combatants that are affected by stasis and strand debuffs while we are radiant. Now, there's a variety of ways to apply those debuffs, and you don't necessarily have to lean into that. Personally, guys, I like to rock Solar 3.0 more, as it allows us to really lean into that Scorch, into those ignitions, and with the right build, this really amps things up, which takes us to the best exotics here to pair. Now, let me just say, there are a number of different exotics you can use that really amp damage up. For instance, hunters can use Lucky Pants. The issue is that Lucky Pants only increases our precision damage, not the explosion damage, which is why for my hunters, I think Foe Tracer is a better option. It gives you that flat damage buff of 25% when matching your subclass, with a 10-second duration, I might add. Foe Tracer is good, guys. A lot of people forget that it got a rework last season. It just requires you now to damage the enemy with an ability, which is perfect for this season, considering we have the artifact mod, Revitalizing Blast. Simply dealing damage with a solar ability will weaken champions and bosses for a short duration. Now, this is a 15% debuff for 6 seconds. The point I'm trying to make is that Foe Tracer synergizes beautifully here, way better than Lucky Pants does. You can literally walk up to a champion or to a boss with Ember of Torches, throw your melee down, proc Ember of Torches and Foe Tracer, and apply the debuff with Revitalizing Blast. It's beautiful synergy here, guys, and it works, which is why I think Foe Tracer is the better option over Lucky Pants for Sunshot specifically. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to like faster rate of fire hand cannons, think Malfeasance, Warden's Law, hell, even Crimson, Last Word. We did damage testing way back when, and you see those hand cannons pull way ahead in regards to DPS. But Sunshot was never on that list, and it's because that explosion damage, unfortunately, does not increase. Now, for my Warlocks, you can actually overcommit to just raw damage if you want it. Mana of Battle Harmony grants you absorption cells, where takedowns with weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass grant you super energy, and while your super energy is full, you instead gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage of the type matching your subclass elements. Now, this is also a 25% damage buff, which is really nice, and it lasts for 11 seconds. However, keep in mind, there is another exotic that you can utilize that really leans into that neutral game, and it will amp up your grenades substantially, that being Verity's Brown. Its perk, the fourth magic, states that weapon final blows with a damage type matching your subclass energy grant death throws, which provides a grenade damage bonus and grants you grenade energy. And when you have death throws and throw a grenade, nearby allies gain greatly increased grenade regeneration for a short time. Now, there's so many benefits here, guys. The 50% additional base grenade recharge rate and the 20% increased grenade damage per stack. The fact that your teammates and allies near you will receive the Feel the Flames buff, which grants them 10 times grenade recharge rate. But all of this can be utilized with Revitalizing Blast. Combine this with Touch of Flame. We're cooking, guys. Now, finally, the exotic that I feel like does the best here. Path of Burning Steps. It comes with the perk Firewalker. Solar Final Blows periodically grant you an escalating bonus to weapon damage, and Solar Grenade Final Blows grant you the highest bonus. Now, scoring 2 to 3 solar kills within 10 seconds of each other grants 1 stack of Solar Weapon Search for 11 seconds. Now, when you get up to stacks of 4, you're able to keep these stacks up and continue buffing that duration as long as you are getting solar kills. Now, you can bypass this and just go straight for solar ability kills to give you that 25% damage buff. Personally, guys, I really lean into survivability with this though, as I'm rocking things like Ember of Tempering, Ember of Empyrean, Ember of Solace, and Ember of Mercy, and then utilizing things like healing grenades and even fire sprites to get my restoration going, and then getting solar weapon kills to extend that duration. This is why I'm able to survive in the final encounter of the dungeon. That and of course, Lorely. But the point is, you can utilize all of this with Path of Burning Steps and increase your damage substantially. Now, I know some of you may be asking, Cross, why are you recommending Path of Burning Steps? Considering we're dealing with the nerfed version of this exotic. You see, at one time, guys, its buff would actually stack with surges, but it no longer does that. What makes Firewalker on Path of Burning Steps still good though, is that it does scale ignition damage, which is not common. Ignition damage is normally locked, but not with Path of Burning Steps. It scales this, and we noticed this when we did a review on Polaris Lance earlier this year. That's why now, guys, even with Path of Burning Steps getting nerfed, I still think it's the best exotic here when paired with Sunshot. So guys, that that is our review for this exotic that has always been such a good weapon, but got a hell of a lot nastier this season. If you're interested, we have some dim links down below where you can just plug and go. We've got a number of other solo weapons to be looking at. The next one on the list will be Vec's Mythic class, as we have Grandmaster Nightfalls dropping, and with the massive buff it got against champions, we're gonna be testing that out very soon. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.